Bitcoiners, I just had an awesome conversation with Gabriel Kurman and Juan Pablo, both working down to support Bitcoin in Central and Latin America. Gabriel is a co-founder of RSK, and Juan is a co-founder of Kripton Market, which is sort of like a decentralized and peer-to-peer e-commerce platform that is built on Bitcoin and RSK technology. They also take Lightning. And this was a really, really interesting conversation about how Bitcoin adoption is actually happening in Latin America, especially in El Salvador, and how the people and the Bitcoiners in the region are taking it on themselves, taking it personally to make sure that Bitcoin adoption happens smoothly and successfully in El Salvador. It's really awesome to hear Juan and Gabriel's passion as they talk about the work that they are doing on the ground to both help people better understand Bitcoin, as well as help them onboard into a new ecosystem that is far, far, far better than their previous one. They're trying to get people past politics and past informational gaps and onto the Bitcoin network. So it is really, really important work. They are thinking about so many different things, and they are really excited about what is happening in El Salvador and across the world with Bitcoin. I think you guys are going to really love this conversation. I definitely loved it. These two gentlemen are so passionate and knowledgeable. Enjoy this combo with both Gabriel and Juan. Yep. Bitcoiners, welcome back to another episode of the Bitcoin Magazine podcast. I'm really excited to do another deep dive into what is happening in Latin America, which is really the wild, wild west and the forefront of Bitcoin adoption in the world. I have two distinguished guests on the ground with a lot of different experiences across the Bitcoin ecosystem down in Latin America. First, I have Gabriel Kurman, one of the co-founders of RSK. And I have Juan Pablo from Kripton Market. So, Gabriel, I guess let's start with you. I guess why don't you introduce yourself, what you're doing on the ground for Bitcoin, and then we can get over to Juan.
Cool. Thanks, TK. Pleasure to be here. Hi, everyone on Bitcoin Magazine. Yeah, basically, my story started 8 years ago when I went to the first Latin American Bitcoin conference called La BitConf. In Buenos Aires, and all these Bitcoin OGs came to town and basically blew our minds on the potential of Bitcoin technology to bring financial inclusion to the region. And that's how probably where the Latin American community started in Buenos Aires, and that spread to the rest of the region. And now I would say that the Latin American ecosystem is one of the strongest in the world, so very proud of that. And a couple of years later, when this idea of smart contracts came to life, we understood that we didn't want to choose between a programmable financial system and the strongest asset and most secure and decentralized network in the world. So we didn't want to choose between smart contracts and Bitcoin. And for that reason, we gathered together as a group, as a community, and created the RSK blockchain, which basically brought smart contracts to the Bitcoin technological stack as the first Bitcoin sidechain that ever existed. So that's kind of my story now, and we're ready 1 week away from the 8th La BitConf that we will have in the region. So 80 years in a row, and this year is going to be very special because it's going to happen in El Salvador. We are super proud in Latin America to have the first country with the guts to go full Bitcoin adoption and to offer the benefits of this technology with the Lightning Network to its citizens. So we all want to go there to support the efforts in El Salvador to bring innovation, jobs, and growth opportunities to the region. So we're going to see everyone next week in El Salvador.
Awesome. Well, potentially this show will be out a little bit after the actual event happens, but it should be groundbreaking, both La BitConf, the 8th annual, as well as the new conference adopting Bitcoin, which will also be there at the same time. Juan, why don't you introduce yourself? I know that Kripton Market has been making massive, massive inroads into making crypto and Bitcoin something that people can actually live off of. within their everyday lives. But why don't you introduce yourself and what you're building?
Hi, well, thanks, mate. Yeah, well, actually, since 2017, I started with the idea, a plan that it began with the mindset that normally before that I saw like Bitcoin something for persons who only can invest on it, and the truth is that Bitcoin is not only that. Bitcoin is a way that we save or share our value. So I thought that there is no a BIP entrance for everybody. It's just we need to build another door. So what I did was create a marketplace where people who really want to be part of Bitcoin, the only need that they have to do is to switch the way that they exchange their value. Like, for example, if they give a certain kind of service, they can make an announcement with us, or if they have some product to sell, then they can offer it there. So it starts like a normal marketplace. Then when you start to put all your pennies into a project, then and this project goes about retail, it's impossible that you don't lose that you don't freak out thinking for example, what happened if Mercado Libre, or what happened if Amazon get into the game. So the idea that even Bitcoin teaches us that the important thing of the money is, or the way that you get money is because of the value that you give to society. So me and other people who start to join me in this dream, we start to thought that it wasn't about don't have any competence. It was about make the competence proper for us. So we start to think about certain points that no Amazon, no Mercado Libre will never have, and that identify so much with the Bitcoiners. For example, privacy, for example, decentralization, and the possibility that receive the payment at the moment in your own way. So we create inside of the marketplace a certain structure based in nodes and Kriptonians. Yes. So after we give the chance to the person who sell their stuff, not anymore for normal currency in their countries that most of the time here in Latin America, because of the inflation, are losing the value. Yeah, we give them another reach where they can interact with customers, but we also create different shops. We thought in persons who really love Bitcoin as us, but maybe the only thing that they have is their knowledge that it is in a big new industry that is coming. It's a lot of power. So we empoderate that. We create a place where the Kriptonians can help to make a deal, being decentralized, but with somebody who can, like arbitrate, like say, okay, he is giving this, he is wanting to receive that. Okay, is it fair for both of? Okay, seeing it, and that's it go. And this is how crypto market start to have some kind of presence in the land. I mean, we start with a little office in Buenos Aires, then we start to give courses and capacitating the commerce, the commerce that were in the street, and sing them into the Bitcoin world. And we start to recognize that is it necessary that everywhere where we are, there is somebody who represents us. So since May of this year, my team, well, I think also because they want to send me fuck out. So they say, oh, you have to go to some place and open new crypto market store. So I start first in Argentina. We open 8 different offices. Their offices are not like, for example, we go and give a contract for somebody who no one's know. What we do is we make alliance, for example, with local Bitcoiners. If you go to our node in Neuquén, you will see that the person and the office there is from one of the first guys who talk about Bitcoin in the city. If you go to the Corrientes, another city, you will find out that one of our Kriptonian is the founder of the blockchain society in that town. If
Juan,
you go
Juan,
to
may I make a comment, CK, because this is what I love about Kripton market the most. So what basically Juan Pablo's team did was just bringing the Bitcoin mindset to the e-commerce industry, where they decentralized all the different jobs and parts that an e-commerce does, like the collecting, the posting the products, and the delivery of the products. And they distributed those jobs into different decentralized nodes and Kryptonians that want to join the network. So it's a decentralized e-commerce platform where the initial nodes that spawned this marketplace were the local Bitcoiners that wanted to do something else and get involved and do e-commerce. So they brought the marketplace software and technology to their own cities. And this is why Kripton Market is now one of the fastest growing ecosystems in Latin America, with like 23 countries or something crazy like this in these 2 months.
23 office in 6 countries. Like,
and it's open to everyone. So if there's a Bitcoiner in Siberia that wants to have a Bitcoin-friendly e-commerce site technology available in his or her town, they can just talk to Juan Pablo's team and make it happen. So it's amazing.
Yeah, and become a node, and then, you know, spread the word together. Like, we are a union of different, like, workers on the street of Bitcoin. These kind of guys that pass their days talking about Bitcoin, selling Bitcoin here, trying to make the commerce work. Okay, we capitalize them by unifying. For example, in Bariloche, there is a project called Crypto Posta, and this guy have a mapa crypto. So instead of Kripton Market create his own map, we say, okay, we are gonna support your project. So let's use Mapa Crypto into the Kripton Market. For example, things of charity, instead of we do our own thing, we got one of the founders of Blockchain for Humanity working as our node in Uruguay, in Montevideo. So, you know, it's like a union that all converge in a marketplace where we make things happening about money. So it gave some incomes that provide to the nodes the opportunity to have a good office, to, you know, to make the people. It's like I don't know if you know about Remax or Uber, these kind of decentralized things that are going on nowadays. We make something similar, but for retail and crypto.
So it's a little bit of the gig economy, but using Bitcoin as money and ultimately trying to create localized e-commerce hubs. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
Exactly. We got that. We got different guys from different places who get the knowledge about Bitcoin and need some support, some structure beside that give them the chance to keep on more doing what they like, that is Bitcoinize the world. So having a company that have representation in 6 different nations, that is available to operate like as a ramp in and off, give them a lot of, how can I say, tools, so they can make it better and make it quicker and faster. So it's like a union. In Spanish, we call it, no somos machos, pero somos mucho. You should learn what it means in Spanish.
No, I think that there's a lot to unpack there, and it's really interesting to, you know, hear about, like, there's a lot of talk about how the money is the first step on building an economy, and, you know, Kripton Market is kind of a very literal instantiation of that. And it's very cool to you know, see a Bitcoin native way to do e-commerce that is gaining a lot of traction, it sounds like, in South America. I want to zoom out a little bit and kind of just talk about, like, what is the current state of Bitcoin in South America? Obviously, El Salvador is, like you said, you know, before we started recording, but the showcase for Bitcoin in the world and the showcase for Lightning around the world. You know, and we're seeing a lot of other countries talking about Bitcoin adoption. We're seeing a lot of grassroots Bitcoin adoption. A lot of that is driving success for both the RSK ecosystem and Kripton Market. Can we talk a little bit about the current state of Bitcoin in Latin America? Let's go back to you, Gabriel.
Yeah, sure. So it's interesting because for us in Latin America, it's always been a survival tool. So when you talk to Latin American, Bitcoin, more than an investment opportunity as you might see it from the US or Europe, for us it's a survival tool to protect our families and our savings from local inflation, from getting them locked in the banks from capital controls. In the case of El Salvador, they were paying 7 points of their GDP in remittances fees to Western Union and MoneyGram. So when you have a broken financial system, as we sadly have in Latin America, you understand Bitcoin right away. So I would say this is where we come from. But in the last couple of years, we also understood that Bitcoin as store of value is extremely important. But for the poorest families in the region, even the US dollar is being devalued very quickly. For some transactions, we still consider it stable. And there's need for stable coins in the region for remittances when people from Venezuela living all around the region need to send money or buy stuff to their families in Venezuela, or refugees that move from one country to the other. So something that I really like about what the RSK ecosystem has allowed is, for instance, the creation of stable coins with collateral in Bitcoin. So Kripton market accepts almost every single stable coin in the space, but there's one in particular that's called Money on Chain, which has a decentralized network, so a decentralized architecture, but with Bitcoin as collateral. And this is one of the stable coins that is being widely adopted in Latin America, because it's very easy to mint it from Bitcoin and back to Bitcoin without the need of a KYC or an intermediary. So these are the kind of technologies that I was starting to see being adopted by real users. So something that I really like about the Bitcoin and RSK ecosystem and what's happening with Kripton market is that we're not talking about hype and stable coins for hedging massive trades with leverage and massive whales creating hype around different tokens. In Latin America, we're talking real users saving dollars, buying food on the street, paid with Lightning Network, as Kripton market is facilitating in El Salvador, and then how we can create tiny DeFi investment opportunities so people in El Salvador can lend those stable dollars or those Satoshis that they have on their Lightning Network and get some kind of nano investment helped by the DeFi ecosystem. This is where I'm most excited about, seeing these bridges between Lightning and RSK and getting the two Bitcoin layers, layer 2 connected. This is something that is very easy to be done through Kripton market, which I understand that accepts Bitcoin, Lightning, and all the stable coins on RSK and Ethereum as well.
Two things. First of all, what say Gaku is absolutely real. Let's move forward. 2006, I was in Finland. My mother is everything for me. I tried to send her every Mother's Day, that it comes on Sundays in Argentina, some present. I couldn't make the thing happen. I wanted to say, Mom, I love you, and give this pair of shoes or whatever I wanted. And Western Union, first of all, Western Union wasn't open on Sundays, so my mom couldn't pick the money at the same time. Second, it was money. It wasn't the present. It wasn't me. It wasn't the feeling that I was trying to transmit. Third thing, when Monday my mom used to go there, it was like, "Hey, mom, how did you eat? How did it well? It went fine, good. Did you bought the boat? The boat I asked you to, I offer you to buy as a present. Well, but the thing is that Western Union discount me a little bit more, take the peso in another quantity. So no, don't worry, I bought a flip flop, but I am happy." So this thing, has happened since until Bitcoin came every day, and there was washing money, laundry money since before it happened. So the thing that Bitcoin has changed, and the way that we crypto market show it to the people is that, for example, nowadays a person who have to leave Venezuela because of the crisis and move to Argentina, where there is two kind of currencies that are dropping down all the time, instead of dollar that is also dropping down. So these persons could go buy dollar on chain, that is this coin that really has helped to make these things happen. Buy some dollar on chain, have it in his own non-custodial wallet, and decide if he want to buy a pair of shoes for her mom. So one Kryptonian is gonna go in the Mother's Day, give the shoes and say, "Hey, your son love you. He sent you that." This is happening. This is what technology has let us do. Connect really the people in all the ways. So where we are working is just to get into the massive, because nowadays Bitcoin has changed the life of a few guys. Every day a few more, yeah. But if we want that Bitcoin change the way we live, we need to put it to all the people, and that's what we are working for. We are working to make Bitcoin in everywhere, as nowadays computers are there that the people can buy. Remember the first computers, it was only making to improve the production that we were making for our bosses. But then in the 90s, the computers start to be creating a tool where you can go up your capacities of draw, salute, or your capacities of read or write, whatever. And there start a new industry beside that. So we think with Bitcoin we have to do the same. We have to bring it to the mass, and we have to to do that. We have to first listen what they need, what they want. They don't want, like Gaku say, leverage or things like that. Okay, Carla.
No. Let me say something that I really love Juan Pablo's passion and something that they do with Kripton Market, which is very consistent with this message, is that they spend a lot of time educating people. So I think it would be very interesting to share what you guys have been doing with Bicentenario, because it's a very interesting initiative that the whole ecosystem put together in El Salvador, especially trying to educate 6 million people that just got this Bitcoin law coming from the outside, and were really not prepared to absorb and get the benefits of this technology. So the whole Bitcoin community from Latin America got together and said, like, let's tackle this together and make sure that these people really benefit from Bitcoin.
Absolutely. What happened when I came on 10th of August to El Salvador, and I started to walk around and take a look what the people see. Absolutely, the law of Bitcoin in El Salvador has been a drop of fresh air for all the community of us, because when you are building a company, that is about Bitcoin, all the investors are trying to pay you less because they say that they don't know what is going to happen with the law, and they are playing. You are like pulling one more stronger like rope, because it's more heavy to get investors, to get things like that going on well. More if the work is going in the way that Kripton does, that is trying to make all of the people get a piece, and not that somebody get a big cake. And so it's very difficult. When I came to El Salvador, I was so happy for myself, because after 5 years being in a company, I could now register it in a country who is going to give me all the rights I deserve. But this is about me. This is why I'm thankful with this law. But let's think about what the people in this country need and how they see it. And then I recognized that the people there was just taking this like a politic decision, that according what the idea of the politician, of the government they have, it was if it's good or bad. So the first thing I saw is that they didn't know what Bitcoin is. So the founder of the freedom, one of the fighters for the freedom in El Salvador, he used to say that education is the tool, the more important tool for the free people. So we thought that, okay, we can make a game. We can call it Bicentenario. We can take this slogan and we should make a campaign that is very productive for the ecosystem, that have no particular position. We know that most of the like little stores are not, in favor of Bitcoin because of politics thing. So what we create, we came with all the ecosystem, demonstrating what is a DAO and showing them that there is no politics, thought between that, and how we could work, or they could live in a world with a no custodial wallet, with a stable coin, back it up with Bitcoin, in a blockchain that is the more safety in the world. How they could, really be part of a new way to organize the people and to interact. So we made 6 meetups that they were having a promedio of, let's say, between 80 and 90 persons. All of them were, or most of them were, they were businessmen who want to, or they got the obligation because of the law to accept Bitcoin. So they want to see another option that the government want. Yeah. And well, it was very productive.
You understand this, CK? Do you understand the problem that Juan Pablo and the team saw when they went to El Salvador? It's people were reluctant and not trusting Bitcoin because we in Latin America are used not to trust our government officials. So if anything comes imposed by a government, you immediately do not trust it. Even when it's Bitcoin and you have the full economy dollarized, being diluted by the money printing of the Fed. But still, people trusted more the devaluing dollars than anything imposed by the government.
Yep. Well, they don't realize that Bitcoin is outside of their government as well. So
exactly.
we've had several conversations about this on this podcast. One with Diego from RSK as well, and I said that it was really sad that the government was kind of failing to educate on Bitcoin, and they left that void. And there was obviously a massive amount of mistrust between the El Salvadorian people and the Bukele law and the way that was being imposed. But Diego actually pointed out, like, this is actually the perfect opportunity for the market to educate. And I was kind of curious to ask Juan, how important is it that, there are folks like yourself, maybe from Argentina or other Latin American countries, coming and showing people, like, this is actually why Bitcoin actually works and is a good thing. And it doesn't require you to trust Bukele or anyone else.
Absolutely. This was the main goal, that don't get any kind of party position. Just come and do what we do. We are in the Bitcoin world. So we only need to improve the Bitcoin use and the acceptation of most of the people. So what we did was work with the persons we knew that if we pursue them, they will create a chain where they will be our voice in the future. So as first, one of the things we did was make an alliance with, there is a cooperative called ASCAP. They call themselves with a fantasy name Bitcoin City. They are in a third town, the third city, or third or fourth city in the country, that is called Sonsonate. We came and we asked them where they think that it will be a massive impact, and they told us stores and cooperatives. The cooperatives here are like the second option for banks. Only 33% of the people in El Salvador is on banks. But there is, for example, one federation that is a union of different cooperatives that it have 509 users. So what we did.
What is a cooperative? Like, how does that work?
Like it's between a bank and own ONG, ¿cómo se dice?
It's a non-regulated financial institution. It's the only option.
It's regulated.
Yeah, but less than a bank.
Yeah. It's for the people who have no place in the banks.
Exactly. Because the level of unbanked people in the country is so large that you have like these second tier cooperatives that are more decentralized and more local, and that they loan and give some type of credit to merchants and small businesses all around the country. It's like the only safety net, financial safety net that they have. And what Juan Pablo has found is that these cooperatives that were much closer to their people and really willing to help were super open to adopt Bitcoin and trying to bring the benefits of Bitcoin and Lightning to their users. Kind of the banks were doing it more reluctantly because with this law they cannot avoid it. But the cooperatives were very proactive in learning and taking over this opportunity. So Kripton market and the whole Bicentenario ecosystem is now working very closely with these cooperatives, trying to bring value and loans and microloans to users all across El Salvador, because it's a huge challenge to educate 6 million people that have barely any access to financial services in the past, that were spending hundreds of millions in Western Union when receiving a few dollars a week from their families somewhere else. And it's a whole empowering challenge to tell them, now you can be part of this. This technology is so efficient that you can save and use it. And now you need to learn, because if you choose wisely and you can cope with volatility, you can protect your life savings from the US dollar hyperinflation. So yeah.
We create this Bicentenario team create a own wallet for these guys, for the cooperatives, that is called Cope Wallet. Inside of this Cope Wallet is going to be the technology of one of the wallet makers by white level, that is Bixo. Latamox is the company that build white levels wallet. Then it's going to be our services like crypto services. Like, for example, we got crypto store, where if you have something that you saw in Amazon and you want to buy it with Bitcoins, you just complete a form for us and we will sell it for you. We will manage it, the exchange of the money, go pick the products and everything. So we create a wallet that is pure for them, that identify, that have their colors, they have chosen, it's called Cope Wallet. Then we give them the services of crypto market with a revenue share. So every time that affiliate of a cooperative is using a crypto services, then the cooperative is winning money. So we give to these persons who got the touch with the people and understand and know the needs of the person, we give the tools so they can stay on the blockchain, on chain, making things working. For example,
Juan, this is unbelievable, CK. So what we're saying here is that with one law, an imperfect government made possible that a tiny cooperative, which was probably super outdated in their legacy system technologies, became, like, in 2 months, state-of-the-art crypto blockchain wallet, because the whole ecosystem just provided the technology for free with the revenue sharing at a white label version. So it's like the full look and feel and management of the cooperative to offer to their members.
Yes,
so this is
absolutely
the innovation that the Bitcoin law is bringing to El Salvador. So it's amazing.
Can I jump in real quick and then I'll let you go, Juan? So I mean, like, I think that there's this concept of leapfrogging, and a classic example of that is in Africa and maybe in Latin America as well. The telephone line infrastructure never got established, and people just went straight to mobile, and mobile enabled the majority of the population to get connected without needing to ever build out any of like the physical landline infrastructure that was built out throughout Europe and the West. And I feel like let's just say the unbanked issues in Latin America, as well as in many other places around the world, is going to present an opportunity for Bitcoin and maybe more localized institutions to leapfrog the fiat system and go straight into internet native, internet native technologies and markets. Juan, I mean, what's your take on this idea of leapfrogging?
Just like that is what is happening. Like there is, for example, a federation. Tomorrow we got the last meetup. They have 509,000 users. Okay, they are nowadays their product is very low compared with what a bank can give to their customers. But because the customers, their own users, have no chance to get into the bank, what they give them is most of what that the user were expected. With this thing, thanks, for example, that money on chain brought a stable coin that lets them receive bitcoins in Lightning Network, but straight swap it up to a stable dollar money currency. They can manage the balances of the cooperative. Thanks that Tropicus allows them to take and give loans, so they can use another gate that not only the banks were giving to the cooperatives. So there is a lot of infrastructure that has put them into the map in a really high level way, because they got all the technology, and top of that they already got an incoming thanks to the revenue share. So one thing that Ersica, Money on Chain, their foundation, they do it. We absolutely in crypto market try to find the way to pick some money to keep on growing. But this is why we are doing. This is what we are doing with the benefits that we are receiving. We are trying to make the ecosystem grow, because we know that our goal is the last one. The people will understand and use crypto market when all the ecosystem is used already. Because there is no one who's spending Bitcoin if first has not know Bitcoin, earn Bitcoin, live Bitcoin, and then they make the last step. This is where we are. So what we are doing is from the back, pulling that everything's happened. When this copy wallet is working, then nobody is gonna dive into use crypto market. If you can buy in crypto market whatever you have sold in our marketplace, in Amazon or in Mercado Libre, why to go and switch in a cashier to get the money to later go and pay by cash if you can do it straight from a cell phone? So, but we understand that first we have to give the places to the others that they need to create this place, this ecosystem. And what you say is absolutely, as you say, in Argentina and in Latin America, what has happened is that the monopoly of the things has been used so much that like they has taken a long napkin, and now when they woke up, it's already too late. Technology has passed over them.
CK, something that I would like to add is that I love Juan Pablo's passions and the rest of the ecosystem. Like Juan Pablo has been in El Salvador like for 2 months. He's just 4 months. So he told his family, I'm going to travel for a week or two. At the time, the borders were closed. So when he left, he knew that he probably was not going to be able to come back at the time he wanted. And he stayed for 4 months. And I think we all feel somehow this kind of responsibility, and this is the reason why we're doing La BitConf in El Salvador with Bitcoin Magazine support as well, of course. It's because as Bitcoiners, we believe that it's our duty to protect what is happening in El Salvador. Like everyone in the world is watching. If El Salvador fails because egos or because of financial economic pressure from outside the world, if it fails, who else will have the guts to follow? So we need to make sure that El Salvador is a success story, because we have 6 million people in El Salvador, but there are 200 million Nigerians that are desperate for the exact same tools and solutions and technologies. So we are very excited and very passionate about what's happening in El Salvador, because we hope that very quickly it will spread around the world.
Yo, my fellow Bitcoin lovers, have I got something specifically curated for you. The Deep Dive is Bitcoin Magazine's premium markets intelligence newsletter. This isn't some pay group selling buy and sell signals. No, this is a premium Bitcoin analysis led by Dylan LeClaire and his team of analysts. They break down in an easily digestible way what is happening on chain, in the derivatives markets, and in the greater macro backdrop context for Bitcoin. This newsletter turns volatility into a joke. So hit up members.bitcoinmagazine.com and use promo code podcast for 30% off the deep dive. That's members.bitcoinmagazine.com, promo code podcast for 30% off. Divorce your paid group and learn why Bitcoin is the ultimate asset by Dylan and his team. My fellow plebs, the Bitcoin conference is back. Bitcoin 2022, April 6th through the 9th, is the ultimate pilgrimage for the Bitcoin ecosystem. The Bitcoin conference is the biggest event in all of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We're leveling up and making this bigger and better than ever. I'm talking straight to the moon with the 4-day-long festival in the heart of Miami at the Miami Beach Convention Center. This has something for everyone. Whether you're a high-powered Bitcoin entrepreneur, a core developer, or a Bitcoin newbie, Bitcoin 2022 is the ultimate place for you to be with your people and celebrate and learn about the Bitcoin culture. So make sure to go to b.tc/conference to lock in your official tickets and use promo code Satoshi for 10% off. You want more off? Pay in Bitcoin and you'll receive $100 off general admission and $1,000 off Whale Pass. Those are stackable. So go to b.tc/conference and attend the best conference in Bitcoin history.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just like that. We got to do it. We have to make it happen. That don't. And most if it's Bitcoin was created because of allow the people to have their own rights, instead of politic decisions. So we cannot live in politics, the succeed or not of Bitcoin community. Mm-hmm. The community have to support it. We have to, I don't know. I think myself or all the peoples where I am, it's like we are warriors of a same war, but in different lands. Yes. But, for example, in Argentina, we don't have a crypto loan, but there is a very, very productive ecosystem there where it's coming plenty of companies. So, we got to bring all these tools. If we build every year plenty of companies on crypto, we don't have a law, how we cannot make it happening in El Salvador, that we got already the decision to support us. So we have to pick the challenge and make it happen and not expect that somebody make the magic thing or whatever. It's a little bit from each one of us who is going to make it work. And
so really quick, and sorry to interrupt, would each of you say that it's fair that South American Bitcoiners are taking El Salvador as an opportunity to prove Bitcoin and taking it very personally? Like, obviously, Juan, you've been living there for a while. I know Bitcoiners from Europe as well as the US and across the globe have all made their way to El Salvador and are also supporting everything that's happening there as well. But talk to us a little bit about just this general unity amongst Bitcoiners and trying to make sure that El Salvador is a successful implementation of Bitcoin.
Yes, I think there is a unique vibe within the Latin American ecosystem, and probably at BitConf, it's a big part of this feeling. We are very connected as a community. We try to support each other. We have friends. It's based on true friendship, I would say, because we've known each other for 7-8 years, trying to help every single exchange, every single wallet, every single project in the region, because we all understand why we're doing this. It's not about us. We are the lucky ones in the region. It's about how we can use this technology to do something different. Somehow, I believe that if we just do the same things that the traditional financial system has done, with the same level of poverty, exclusion, inequality, then what's revolutionary about Bitcoin and blockchain? Unless we really make something to transform our society and the world for better, then I don't think there is much of a revolution in this technology. And I think everyone in Latin America feels the same way. That's why we are so good friends. And I think we're very powerful when working together. And I'm already starting to see the impacts that the whole ecosystem is having in El Salvador, because we're all pushing together, trying to bring our technologies and not to profit from El Salvador, not to take money from Salvadorians, but the opposite is just bringing technology, creating jobs, investing in the country, and proving the rest of the world that when you go Bitcoin, you get a lot of innovation and opportunities and growth. So as I said before, the virus spreads to other nations, and the more we are prepared to the collapse of the fiat system, and the faster our governments and our countries react, the best, for the people in the future. So we really have this sense of urgency, and we're trying to encourage different, government officials and central bankers in the region to just read what's happening in the world. That we are about to see a black swan event that hasn't happened in the last couple of centuries, probably never in the history of humankind, that a fiat reserve currency used by almost every country in the world is about to collapse in hyperinflation. And we really want Latin America to be protected and protect the lives of those who need it the most in the region. And I think that's something that makes the Latin American community quite unique.
Absolutely. For example, it happens to me when I start to make crypto market. I start with Bitcoin in 2014, like buying and selling. But I didn't have enough because, okay, my economy grew, but I saw guys like Gaku, to Diego, and all this, really into something. And I say, okay, how can I be part? So when I started to make crypto market, I found that this is my place. This is a way how I can contribute to this community. In 4-5 months ago, when they told me that my team, and even Gaku was one of the more that pushed me that go. I was like, why the fuck I supposed to go to a place that I don't know when I has been 4 years killing my ass to make crypto market working, and once that is working, I'm going all in with something that I don't know if I can make it. Then I was like having a coffee with my kids, and I told my kids, hey kids, all the things that has happened good for us, it wasn't because we were speculating. It was because we were just Papi was so into creating Bitcoin, or a place where the people can buy and sell with Bitcoin, and making that persons who in the normal road will be at the very last, giving them a back door where they can get into quicker. So if we are living the life we are living, it's because we were concentrated in that. So if I don't go to El Salvador, kids, then I don't know what is going to happen with our luck, because we are starting to act in another way with the society. So my kids get it. And when I get to the El Salvador, I was so decided for the commitment on my sons, for the time that I has been waiting for be part of something so beautiful like this, not only holding Bitcoin. Yes. And the third thing is because, I have to, I have to prove myself that this is something that I am ready for. So my thoughts were, okay, I'm gonna do it, but I can't do it alone. It was like, I am gonna do it, but I can't do it alone. So I came to El Salvador, and the first thing I saw is that, okay, this is a Bitcoin law. This is not a cryptocurrency law. So, I see the project of Rostock some very long time ago. I know the guys who created, and I know what they moved, what they has done, that Latin America is what it is nowadays about Bitcoin. So, I have 2 chances. One chance was, okay, go and touch the doors of any kind of government place where they will open me, maybe not, but I could have this drive and say, hey, here I am, I got a marketplace, I accept Lightning Network, and just do that. But, me, myself, because I have tried to introduce the people into the retail inside of the cryptocurrency, I know that they need, the stores need a stable coin. I know that Lightning Network was not the solution. I know that even if you are the best president of the world and most of the people love you, there is people who is not going to accept you because you still are part of a system that is totally, the opposite of what Bitcoin does. So, all these things say, okay, I can do my easy road, or I can do what I need. I came to make here. So I call straight to Gaku and Gab and Diego and all the guys. I say, guys, all the time that you have spent trying to make something that really empowered the people in Latin America, instead of all the other blockchains are speculating with this token, that pump and down and that. All this shop that you have done, call it God, call it Buddha, I don't know how you want to call it, but there is your fucking opportunity. Here I am, I saw it. It's Bitcoin law. It's the moment that Rusto can prove all the thing and all the people who are behind. Or what you say when you are down? Okay, under Rustock, we can prove it. And I was so fucking afraid. I didn't know what is going to happen. It still is more difficult as I thought. We went 150 stores say, okay, we want to accept it. But then it's taking us 4 hours each commerce, because you have to start from, if you want to make it, you have to make it real. This is not, there is a sentence I hear that sounds very nicely, but it's not real. And, if you're a Bitcoiner, you will understand. There is one time I hear a guy say, how beautiful is to know that one person who doesn't know to write and read can have his own wallet of Bitcoin. This is impossible. If he don't know how to read the fucking 12,000 words and write it, he cannot have Bitcoin. Maybe somebody is having their coins in a certain thing that they call Bitcoin. But if we want to take advantage of that, we have to do what you just said before, Kay, that you say, okay, we have to shape this process. We don't have to make the people understand how centralized banks work so we can teach them Bitcoin. No, we have to, okay, they are version. They don't know about banks. They don't confuse. Let's go straight to Bitcoin. If you move to Latin America, one of the other things that make the people get it so quicker is because our originary people, the ones who belongs to this land, they used to be as Bitcoiners. They love about community. They think about ecosystem. They know about honesty. There are many things that are inside of our ancestors. I don't know if it's a word like that in Latin America, that it has to do with Bitcoin. That's why Bolivians are, you just go and live in Bolivia and you will know what I mean. Go and spend a time in Peru and you will catch it. Come here and you will see it. So, this is a great opportunity, but we have to take it to the top. We have to really make the people understand what is, because just Kaku said before that about revolution. I think that after the French Revolution, all the other revolutions has been, let's put that guy in the head of that, and then later he failed, and all the people fail with them. It has happened with communists. It has happened with Che. It has happened with Maduro. Now it's about evolution. It's not about revolution. It's about each one of us have to understand the power that they have if they, get to understand what Bitcoin brings to them. So this is.
So I actually love that framing, that Bitcoin is about evolution, not revolution. So I'm actually that's great. I'm going to keep that one. I want to turn this back to you, Gabriel. So Juan, made a lot of shout outs to a lot of the building that RSK has done to kind of bring, let's just call it finance primitives to a trustless Bitcoin native layer. And, obviously it's very homegrown in Latin America. So obviously it's something that is, can be easily translated to the folks in El Salvador and who are on the cutting edge of Bitcoin adoption. Can you talk a little bit about where RSK adoption is going right now? How amazing is it that these like white label co-op wallets, have a lot of the kind of banking tooling that you have been working on for a long time? I'll just pass it back to you.
Yes, absolutely. This is the reason why we built RSK in the first place. So it's always been about how we can bring the most secure technology at the lowest possible cost, so billions of users around the world can benefit from this. This is why scalability has been a top priority on RSK from the beginning. And Sergio and the rest of the innovation team in the community have been working on different initiatives to scale on-chain and also off-chain with upper layers like Lumino and now the rollups coming. So Yeah, I think we are in a very unique moment where we feel a lot of responsibility, especially seeing what's happening on the Ethereum blockchain and how basically on-chain fees made it impossible for average users to use this, like Venezuelans that were paying with Tether or any stable coin on Ethereum just cannot use the network anymore. And also the levels of centralization that this is creating, these massive servers required to run proof of stake solutions. When you're a refugee in a Latin American country where you live under a dictatorship, you don't mess around with decentralization. You understand what censorship means. So I think this is something that's been very consistent within the RSK ecosystem and its roadmap. And we have a lot of news coming in terms of scalability and anonymity also on the blockchain coming soon. And as you said before, the main reason why we created RSK was for Solidity DeFi smart contracts to be able to be secured by Bitcoin infrastructure, and also to enable Bitcoiners all around the world to build solutions that could serve billions and that increase the possibility and the functionality of the Bitcoin stack. We always understood that Bitcoin was not only a base layer store of value. This is definitely the most important use case that Bitcoin has and the one we should all protect. But once that base layer is protected, actually having a full financial system built on top of it makes it even stronger. So 80% of the fees generated on RSK go straight to Bitcoin miners, merge mining RSK, which as of today is 1 every 2 miners in the whole world. So the RSK hashing power is 50% or between 50 and 60% of the total Bitcoin hash rate. And that makes RSK one of the most secure smart contract platforms in the world. This is why I think the Bitcoin stack has a quite unique opportunity to offer the world the most secure smart contracts and the lowest possible fees, because we are subsidized by Bitcoin. And at the same time, getting revenues and fees from smart contracts on the second layer, we are also making the Bitcoin base layer stronger. So I think we're in a very particularly exciting moment in what we call DeFi for Bitcoin, with more than 2,500 Bitcoins in the POPEG at a similar level to Lightning and Liquid. Like the whole second layer on top of Bitcoin is evolving quite strongly with solutions especially developed and think for real users benefiting from Bitcoin technology and taking the nano transactions, so the transactions to the nano level and the fees as cheap as we can, so without sacrificing any decentralization or censorship resistance, we can offer billions of users around the world the benefits of Bitcoin security plus smart contracts programmability. So very exciting times for DeFi for Bitcoin.
In terms of like, I hate like buzzwords, and I think that Bitcoiners like have a jade towards the idea of the term DeFi. A lot of hardcore Bitcoiners are very much like buy and hold your Bitcoin and just wait for hyper Bitcoinization. I don't necessarily firmly agree with that, and I really resonate with Michael Saylor's definition of DeFi, which is like you have digital property and you can transport that digital property anywhere and leverage it and use it to your benefit. And for all of human history, property rights has been really kind of constrained to only wealthy and privileged, and now anyone can tap into that. And it's really amazing to hear from Juan, talking about copays that serve the poorest, neediest people who are unbanked. Now they can tap into microloan capabilities, and people gaining Bitcoin property through the Lightning Network. and then having that, be able to turn that into dollars, or turn that into dollar exposure, or turn that into, some sort of savings account that generates interest. Maybe that's not Bitcoin native, but it's a stepping function, right? So, it's very, very interesting seeing all of this stuff, play out. Gentlemen, I really appreciate your time. I think we've been going for an hour now. Would love to kind of get, last words and closing thoughts for the Bitcoin Magazine audience about, the current status of Bitcoin in Latin America and maybe even globally. I guess let's go back to you, Juan.
First of all, thanks for the place. It was awesome to be here. Is this kind of things that make me feel that we are doing things well, because it's catching the attention. The people that want to get involved in crypto market, give us time. Let's work us in Latin America. In January, we will make the road from the next year, and we will say where we want to be. But everyone who really love Bitcoin and think that needs a place, a community where to grow and make the best of them and help the people to get into this world, that contact us straight crypto market or Rootstock and found the place. Crypto market, we are the lazy guys. We are do the shitty things. We buy TVs, bring it to your home. It's easy, and you are in Bitcoin. So if somebody want to join us there, welcome.
Awesome. Well, you got to hustle to make it work, and it's amazing to see, the way that in which you're thinking about, scaling the business and making it very aligned with the Bitcoin ethos. So thanks a lot, Juan. Where can people find out more about you and Kripton Market?
Well, we got one of the things we have is that instead of have a community outside of a web page, in the same web we got the chat, so you can chat straight to a Kryptonian, one of us, in the web page. And then every Thursday in our office are workshops, so the people can get into. We don't know how we do it, because we are in the top of the technologies working, like in the world of the blockchain and Bitcoin and everything. But the crypto market team always love to share the talks face to face and with one beer or something in front. So it's more easy to find us in our offices, in our notes, or in the workshops we make, that in a certain of internet community or things like that. So use our chat or follow our agenda in different countries.
Awesome. Gabriel, what's your last word?
So I would say that my last message to Bitcoiners in the audience is to get involved. Is if we really dream in a financial system in the future that is available to everyone, that can serve 7 billion users, then we need DeFi to be built on top of Bitcoin. We need the security of smart contracts secured by Bitcoin infrastructure, and that can only be done with the support of Bitcoiners all around the world. The most exciting projects in the Rootstock space have been built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners, like Money on Chain, like Sovereign, like Tropicus, like Kripton Market, like Defiant. So I encourage everyone else to get involved, find the nicest solution, whatever you like or you use in the DeFi space, and probably there's an opportunity to deploy it on RSK and bring it closer to the Bitcoiners around the world. We're starting to see a lot of interest in Bitcoiners to get a passive income or to put their a small amount of their Bitcoins to work. And this is exactly what we have been waiting for. Finally, Bitcoiners are starting to understand that having the financial system of the future built on top of Bitcoin makes Bitcoin stronger and the world a better place. So get involved.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. I love this conversation, and I'm excited to share it with all the Bitcoiners out there. To all the Bitcoiners out there, make sure to support what is happening in El Salvador. Make sure to support what is happening with, peer-to-peer, censorship-resistant banking and financial technology that is going to empower, a lot of people that have not been empowered for a long time. So I'm very excited for that. Make sure to go follow me on Twitter at CK_snarks. Make sure to go check out Bitcoin Magazine at bitcoinmagazine.com. Go get the El Salvador edition of the print Bitcoin Magazine. It is now shipping internationally and accepting Bitcoin for subscriptions. So go get your subscription to Bitcoin Magazine, get your legendary El Salvador edition. And yeah, that's enough from me. Thanks again, Gabriel and Juan. Really great talking to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Peace.
Yo, what is going on, plebs? We're going to take a break from our programming to tell you about the resurrection of our print magazine, starting with the El Salvador issue. Starting this fall, Bitcoin Magazine will be available on newsstands nationwide and at retail stores such as Barnes & Noble. Don't want to get off your couch though? No problem. You can also go to store.bitcoinmagazine.com. So skip the line and get each issue shipped directly to your front door with our annual subscription. I'm talking 4 issues a year that contain exclusive interviews and profiles with leading Bitcoiners, actionable insights on the state of the market, breaking news and cultural trends, along with powerful photos and artwork from the best artists in the world.